MCSE TV. Now guys, tomorrow at 5:30 we take on Arsenal away at the Emirates in the Premier League. Now guys, let's talk about the last time we took on Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Now it was obviously early this season, it was in the Premier League and we won 3-2. Now when I was getting my preview notes ready for this match preview, I was just reflecting on that game and I just can't forget it. It was amazing. It was so intense but so enjoyable at the same time. It was such a good game. Yeah, and it's just great to get all 3 points and beat Arsenal at home. It was so good. But yeah, as I said, I just can't forget that game. Obviously, Pedro Morata scored in the first half, and obviously Alonso assisted Pedro's goal. Yeah. It's just reflecting on that. Like, obviously Alonso hasn't got the greatest form at the moment, and Morata hasn't got the greatest form at the moment. So let's hope if they then play start tomorrow that the net goals like they did last time, because obviously Marcos Alonso got us a winner in the 81st minute of the game to give us a 3-2 result. So obviously things were a little bit different then. And I'd just love to be able to say tomorrow, yeah, Marcos Alonso's had a really good performance, you know, because obviously Marcos Alonso hasn't been at his best recently, which I'll get on to when I talk about my predicted team lineup. But yeah, that was our last meeting with Arsenal, and I expect it to be a very similar game again tomorrow. I think it's going to be really intense, really nerve-wracking from minute one. Yeah, these London derbies are always like that because both teams want to win. It's like the dignity of your side, you know. So yeah. Now guys, I just want to talk about Premier League rankings so far in the table. Now obviously we're sitting 4th in the table and Arsenal is sitting 5th, so this game does matter. It's very important, the outcome of this game, obviously points wise and who catches up, or if we just go flying ahead. Now obviously we're sitting 47 points, obviously 4th with 47 points, and Arsenal is sitting with 41 points. So obviously there's a few points difference, so if we lose it's not the end of the world. We don't even want to think about it though because it's not going to happen. But obviously it's not the end of the world if we lose, because obviously it's not a really tight gap, but nevertheless it does matter because depending on our results in the next upcoming games, it does matter because Arsenal could catch us up if we fail, you know, and we just can't let that happen. We just got to keep winning games and not let the other teams behind us catch up. So yeah, and obviously we want to overtake teams above us if they obviously lose. So just fingers crossed. I don't think we're going to lose tomorrow, in all honesty. I am a little bit confident about this game, you know. But I do think it might be a draw. But yeah, we'll see. Hoping for a win, obviously, and I'm going to stick with that confidence and say we're going to win. But my heart's saying a draw because these London derbies always seem to be very intense, and sometimes you do come out with a draw. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, points difference. We just need to win it. It would be a good thing, obviously, and it would just make us feel a little bit more comfortable about where we're sitting in the table. Now guys, I want to talk about Arsenal's previous results and our previous results. So obviously, last weekend, it was just great, wasn't it? Obviously Arsenal got beat 1-0 by West Ham. Yeah, I was really shocked about that, to be honest. I mean, going into that game, you just wouldn't have thought that West Ham would have beaten them, and it was such a good thing for us Chelsea fans because obviously that knocked us a few more points behind us. So thank you, West Ham, you did us a favour. But obviously, because of that, Arsenal aren't going to be going into this game the most confident team, are they? Because they're on the back of a 1-0 loss. That's not really a confidence boost for them. Nevertheless, they have lost 1-0, so they will want to bounce back. So it can go either two ways. Sometimes that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, they might want to bounce back. They'll want to make the fans happy. They'll want to beat us. They are at home, so it might make them even more determined to get the result. But we'll just have to wait and see. Then obviously they beat Fulham 4-1, so obviously did well. But before that, they had a 5-1 thrashing by Liverpool. So they haven't been doing brilliantly. The form's been up and down. A little bit like us, you could say, because our form hasn't been consistent. It's been quite up and down. So yeah, they haven't been doing amazing. Yeah, they beat Fulham 4-1, but you'd expect that with where Fulham are sitting in the table. So yeah, not the greatest performances from them recently. So let's just hope that works to our advantage. But having said that, we haven't been the best at the moment, but we have been scraping by and getting some wins. So obviously we're on the back of a 2-1 win against Newcastle. Obviously that game was very intense. We got the job done, and that's all there was really to say about it, to be honest. As I said in my review of the game last weekend, it wasn't spectacular football, but we scraped by and we got the job done, and that's all we needed to do. And then obviously we drew against Southampton. Again, that was a very disappointing result. I responded to that quite negatively. As you guys may know if you've watched my review, I just wasn't happy about that whatsoever. I took that badly, that game. It actually felt like a loss, in all honesty. I was gutted. And then obviously we won 1-0 against Crystal Palace. So it's our form hasn't been amazing, but we are going into this game a bit more confident and in the better position. But obviously London derbies are tricky, we know that. We haven't done like the worst at London derbies so far this season. Let's just forget about the Tottenham game. But yeah, so fingers crossed, but that's how both teams have been doing of recent. So guys, let's talk about Sarri's press conference. Now, in all honesty, I actually didn't talk that much about the game coming up tomorrow, to be honest. I've only actually got one quote to read out, and there's stuff about Hudson-Odoi and the transfer window, but I've just decided to talk about tomorrow's game. So Sarri says, Morata has been training with the squad as normal and is available for selection for tomorrow's game, but he doesn't know whether he'll play yet. So obviously, that's obviously a question that the media keep prodding for. They obviously know the current situation. Apparently, Higuain's supposed to be in London right now. So obviously, the media are kind of trying to probably prompt Sarri to kind of say, look, is Morata staying or going? Because we know we're signing a striker, and that is Higuain, as long as he doesn't fall through. But obviously we don't know about Morata. Where does that put him as a player? Is he going to play tomorrow? Is he going to actually go out on loan or be sold? There's still days left in his transfer window. So that's obviously what the media are prodding at with Sarri, to be honest. But yeah, I know it's a preview, but I've mentioned it. So comment down below, guys, your thoughts. Would you like Morata to start tomorrow? And do you think he should stay or leave? Now, obviously, that choice might not be fully his. But yeah, let me know. Would you like him to stay or leave if Higuain comes? And would you like him to start tomorrow? Now, I'm going to say if I'd like him to start or not tomorrow, because now I'm going to go on to my predicted starting 11 for tomorrow's game. So, starting 11 time, I suppose it's probably one of my controversial talking points in my preview always, because I get a bit controversial when it comes to picking the players and why. Excuse me. So, Kepa in goal, just usual. And then my back four for tomorrow would be Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Luiz and Alonso. Now, some of you guys might disagree with me putting Alonso in there because obviously he hasn't had the best of form of recent. Some people may disagree and say, you know what, you should put Palmieri in there, but I've gone for Alonso. I want to keep the faith in him. I want to see him have a good performance, and I just feel like that's going to come with playing consistency. So I do feel he should play in this game tomorrow. It's going to be a massive test for him. Let's see how he goes. But in all honesty, I feel like if Alonso really does struggle tomorrow, maybe drop him for the Tottenham game. Let's just see. It's going to be really interesting to see how he performs tomorrow. Obviously all the team, of course, but just Alonso, because he has been struggling of recent. So want to see Sarri, give him a shot, give him a chance, and let's just see how he goes. And as I said, if he struggles, if he doesn't play up to standard again, maybe give Palmieri the chance against Tottenham. But we'll have to wait and see with that. Again, I'd stick with Luiz instead of Christensen because I personally, obviously I don't know, I'm just predicting, but I feel like Sarri might choose Christensen for Tottenham on Thursday. So I feel like we should save Christensen and give Luiz the chance tomorrow. The reason I say that I think he's going to play against Tottenham because he did last time and obviously it worked. So some of you guys might disagree, some of you guys might think it didn't work, but I thought it worked. So I'd go in for Luiz, then obviously Rudiger and Azpilicueta, great players. Now, defensive midfield, again, controversial. I would go for Barkley. I didn't think Kovacic had again, controversial point. I don't feel like when Kovacic starts, he succeeds. I think Kovacic is best brought on as a substitute. I do think he struggles when he starts in the 90-minute game. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. He seems to make more of an impact coming off on the bench rather than starting, in my opinion. And also, Ross Barkley, he always steps up for these big games. I think he's a very vital and important player. And you know something, it's written in the stars, and you heard it here first. I could see someone like Ross Barkley netting a goal tomorrow if he started. So I'd definitely start Barkley. He's just made for these types of games. He's a strong, quick player, and I just feel like he would have a lot of impact against a team like Arsenal, and who'd cause them trouble and problems, so I'd put him in there. Kante, obviously, he didn't have the greatest game against Newcastle, don't get me wrong, but which player did have an amazing, spectacular performance then? So I would go with Kante. Again, he will challenge the Arsenal players, he'll create issues with them. He's a fast-paced, quick player, and that's what we need. So yeah, amazing, great against Arsenal. Now, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think he's available for selection tomorrow. If I'm wrong, I apologise, but I would go with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The reason I've decided to drop Jorginho is I just don't think that it'll benefit him playing tomorrow. Now, some of you guys might think, well, why are you starting Alonso then if he hasn't been playing very well? But I just feel like Jorginho's struggling so much more. There's been so many tweets out recently about him and the way he just can't distribute a ball successfully. He isn't assisting. He's just not contributing positively to the defensive midfield, and it's something that you just can't take a risk on, because that is where the catches out the opponent. So I do feel like he's going to have to be dropped. It's just the way it is, and I'd go with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, because as we know, when Ruben Loftus-Cheek does play, he always does really well, and he nets goals for us. I feel like Ruben will really step up for a game like this, so I'd put Ruben in there. But yeah, I just don't think it would work for Jorginho to start tomorrow. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Now, in midfield, I'm dropping that false nine situation. Hasn't been working. Hazard has neglected his talent because he's been playing in the false nine. It's not his fault, but he hasn't been showing his skill, and he's not like the Hazard we know. So I've gone for Hazard and Pedro in midfield. Now, the reason I haven't picked Willian for this game or Hudson-Odoi is just because I feel like we need an experienced player in this game. Obviously Willian is experienced, but Pedro is so fast-paced and quick, and he's just a player we need in this game. And obviously last time, he obviously played against Arsenal, he netted a goal. He just steps up for these big games and makes such an impact on that midfield. So I definitely go for Pedro to start in midfield tomorrow for sure. Yeah, and as I said, along with Hazard. The reason I wouldn't put Hazard up front is because he struggles, and as I said, I feel like he's got more of a chance scoring in the midfield than he would up front. So yeah, I think that would work better. I haven't gone for Hudson-Odoi, just simply the pressure. I think it'd be too big of a game for him to play in tomorrow. I'm not saying he's not capable and up to it, but I just wouldn't play him. I'd give an experienced player the chance, and I think that's Pedro. Also, you've got to give all the players the chances they deserve, and obviously, in my opinion, I think Hudson-Odoi might start against Tottenham. So obviously we'll have to wait for Sarri's press conference for that. But I do feel like we should save him for Tottenham. And as I said, Pedro, yeah, definitely amazing. I'd definitely, in the second half, if things are going all right, I'd possibly bring Willian on. Because, again, Willian's not doing too badly at the moment. Obviously, he scored last weekend. He's got good form, so yeah. Now, up front, controversial, Giroud. I think he's up for selection as far as I know. Sarri hasn't said anything in his press conference. I do not know. But I'd put him up front. We can't risk putting Morata up front tomorrow. It's just not going to work out. Again, controversial, but it is what it is. If you put Morata up front, where's that clinical point for tomorrow? The players will work hard to get the ball up the pitch. They'll run the ball off to him, and he'll probably fail to score. And we just can't see that in a game tomorrow. We need a fast-paced, striker that we can rely on to score, and that's Giroud. So yeah, Giroud up front tomorrow. Some of you guys might disagree with me. As I said earlier, comment down below, would you start Giroud or Morata? But I would definitely go with Giroud tomorrow. So yeah, that's my starting 11. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below all your pre-match thoughts, your score predictions and your predicted team lineup. Now guys, part of me is saying that we're going to draw tomorrow, but I am going to go for Chelsea to win 3-1. Yeah, I'm just going out there. I hope we do keep a clean sheet, but when it's a London derby like this, Arsenal are probably going to score. I mean, look at the result earlier this season. It was 3-2. So there'll be goals flying in everywhere. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea win. And yeah, let's just see what we can do. I feel fairly confident, but as you know, anything can happen in football. And anything can certainly happen in the London derby. But let's just see how we get on. Also, guys, make sure you are following me on Twitter, please. EmirateCSE. It's linked down below in the comment section. Because I am actually now writing for the Chelsea Echo, which is so exciting. I'm loving it, and I have actually written a piece about the Chelsea and Arsenal history, like the recent history. So make sure to go and give that a read. It is linked on my Twitter, and make sure to follow Chelsea Echo on Twitter. Also, I did do a piece earlier this week about the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. So thank you all so much for all your support on that so far and for reading it. I really do appreciate it. Also, I have got my own blog as well, where I do post previews and reviews, not all the time because obviously I've got my YouTube to do as well, but I do try and get up as much content on there as possible. And also I do pieces for 90 Min as well, so yeah, make sure to go and check all that out. I'd really appreciate that, because obviously I know I've mentioned it before, but I am doing football journalism at the University of Derby, so I am writing a lot now as well as doing broadcast. So yeah, if you just want to hear like a written piece and my opinions rather than always watch my videos, you can check out my writing, you know, because I'm doing journalism as well, so it's really exciting. So yeah, thank you all so much for your continued support, and yeah, let's just go and beat Arsenal tomorrow. Wouldn't it be amazing if we beat them 6-0 again? I don't think that's going to happen somehow though, but I won't speak too soon. Let's just see what we can do. And also, guys, don't forget to come over to my channel after the game tomorrow, where I will be doing a match review. And let's hope I'm talking about us winning the game. Let's go and smash Arsenal up the Chelsea. Thanks.